Summer Nights on the 5150 Van Halen album released in 1986, first with Sammy Hagar, and I think the story goes it was the first song they jammed on together as a band. Great song, great song. The version on Live Without a Net, that live album they did off that tour is great as well. Okay, it's standard tuning, but he being Eddie, used a headless guitar, a Steinberger. And it's got this trans-trem idea. If you don't know what that is, you can play a chord, bend with the whammy bar, and the chord stays in tune. You can also lock it, bend up or down and lock it so it stays. It's basically like a capo, but using the trem. So for me today, for the intro only, I've got the capo on the 3rd fret. I've seen some people do it trying to without the capo and have these weird stretches. It just looks really difficult and doesn't sound right to my ears. So just stick a capo on unless you're playing live with a band. Doesn't really matter, right? Okay, the chords are quite simple for the intro. I'll call out the chord shapes that you'll know rather than what they actually are. So it's a G5 to a D chord shape, D sus2. G on B, so it's that chord, but you're not playing the outer strings, so I usually fret it that way. Then an A chord shape, pulling off to an A, and then a sus2. The key though is the triplet feel, that swung feel. Eddie was the king of swing. Such an amazing feel. His rhythm guitar playing is incredible. So you've really got to listen to that swung feel. Predominantly I'm using thumb and those 3 fingers. The very first chord I use the pinky just to hit that high G, okay? Okay, that's the first 2 chords, G5 to that D chord shape, D sus2. G on B in terms of a chord shape. Okay. Second time round, it is the same except for one little skip he does on the A sus2. Hits that E. It's not an E, but if you were down here, it would be an E, just with his thumb there. Okay, after that finger-picked section, he plays the same chords, but strumming. To my ear, he's hitting the full, again, I'm using the chord shapes that you know, the G5 chord shape to a D5. I don't hear that high E string there. And then the G on B, you can add the G there, and then just an A5 chord shape. Now in between, that's a repeat, so there's 2 parts to it. In between he does 2 hammer-on pull-off runs. So let's strum and do the first one. Okay, open D string, and then 7, 5, pull off to open, 7, 5, pull off to open on the D string, then the A string. And then end with that G of the G chord shape. It's a B flat, but you know what I mean. Okay, second time. Okay, open A string, chromatic, 5, 6, 7. Then the open G string. I do it with my hyper picking, so with my second finger there. If you can do it with your pick and you're comfortable, do it with that way. Let's do those parts together. Okay, last part of the intro. Okay, A5 to a D5. Then hit 7th fret A. Kind of if you can pinch it. And then hit the A octave down below. And bend it down to a G or thereabouts. And then that's the intro. Now what you're doing It's the same thing, but you're playing it in G. Now, for me, I take my capo off. For Eddie, he does whatever he does in the Steinberger to bring the key down to G, because he's playing the intro in the same position there. Okay, so after that key change, we take the capo off. We're down in open chord territory, same chords. And this is kind of the second part of the intro. It's the same as the chorus part. So let's look at those first chords and then the first bit of hammer-ons pull-offs that he does. Okay, open D, and then pull off 4-2 open string, 4-2 open string on the D, and then A. Okay. And then hit the G. Okay, second time round. Open A string, hammer on 2, 3, 4. Open G string. Pull off 4, 3, 2. Slight pause on that G, okay? All right. As I said, that's the same as the chorus. Now the verse is tricky because it's got that swung feel again, Eddie, king of swing. So it is a D5 to a B5. A5 is in there as well. Now it moves a transitions from the D5 to the B5 quite quickly. So because your third finger's kind of tied up there, I hit the B5 with my pinky, which I think, if you can do it otherwise, great. So the verse. Okay, so D5 to B5, A5 to B5, open A string, then pull off on the second fret, D5, B5, okay. Okay, open E string, pull off from the second, third, and then fourth goes up to the fifth. Then open D, pull off 4, 2, 0 on the A string. Let's play that first bit again. I usually do the B with an upstroke there. Okay, second time round. Okay. Open E, then pull off. From the G, hit the A. Pull off from the A to the open E, and then bend the whammy bar down on that E to hit a D. Tricky, super tricky. Maybe it was easier with a chance trem, but Eddie was the king, so it's probably just his fingers. Okay, that's that part of the verse. All right, so the pre-chorus has sixth running from the 7th to the 9th fret and back down on the D and B strings. Hit it once with a pick and you do the rest sliding. All right, then we're going to do an E major to an E sus to a D. Second time. Okay, so the first time the E, you start with an E to an E sus, and the second time it's an E sus to an E. Let me play that, both parts. Again, swung feel and keep those chords kind of staccato. Now this part. Okay. Slide up from 10 to 12, same strings, D and B strings, 6th. slide up 10 to 12 and then hit the 12 on the B. Slide it down 1 fret to 11, and then open D string, hammer on 10. Okay. All hybrid picking fingers. Then move down to the 7th fret, open D. Open D, hammer on the 7th fret there, that A, and then hit your 7th fret there, the F sharp, and move those down a fret. And then open D and a pinch on the 2nd fret. Okay, back to the verse. Now we're right before the chorus there. D5 to an open E string. D5 to an F sharp. Oops. To a G, so we're doing F sharp, G, B for the G on B, and then A. And then I pull that off. Okay. Okay, now what that part there is, you start with the open A, hammer on C sharp and E, it's 4 and 7. Tap the 12, all in the A string. Okay, slide your 12 up to 14 and back, and then pull off to the 7. Into the chorus, which we looked at before. Okay, then it goes around again into the verse and into pre-chorus and all that kind of stuff. Chorus. Last thing, as he's doing the solo, he's doing sort of an E flat 9 to a D. All right, it's more D flat 9, more to a D note, C and back up to D, and then he starts soloing over it. Goes back to the intro and chorus again. That is it. Summer Nights, Van Halen, good luck. Don't forget the swing. You don't get the swing, it's just not going to sound the same. See you next time.